Back in his farm. Why is my thing stuck? Oh! She's rolling, boy! Look at her, she is rolling! Okay, I'm looking through my old Snapchats and I'm remembering, like, my God, I was a piece of work when I was in college, okay? So I'm watching the Snapchat videos and I'm like telling a story about how this lady is like leading me astray. You know what I'm saying? But that was my slick, ignorant ass way of saying she was trying to steal my man. Because what was really going on is I was already astray because I was not on route to be skipping class. But I like the way I told the story, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an event. Like, I already knew this, right? I already knew this, y'all. I already knew this. I was curious and I wanted to see what's up, okay? So it was scheduled during the middle of the day. And it was scheduled to a point where it's like either this was a day where you had no classes at all or you were skipping class, okay? In college, it's possible to have one day on your schedule where you have no class at all, okay? But the event, in reality, it was like a multiple day event, so eventually they would have caught you, okay? And this was what the thing that I started doing in college. Like, this was my, like, when I decided that I didn't see a future in engineering for me and I wanted to focus more on the arts and entertainment, I started, like, vlogging these things. These were the things that I was vlogging, okay? So I was vlogging all the ways in which I saw people flop. And I know y'all be like, Lola, that's so mean. Like, this isn't freaking, like, what? I don't even remember. Y'all don't even remember that show because them shows got canceled. Like America's Funniest Home Videos or like the MTV version of that. So I was a good student, right? That's what I was like. That was like what I was like trying to reiterate. It's like I was a good student. Like I knew what to do. I knew everything that could be done, but it was like I just didn't have the capacity within me to fulfill it. Like I was like, I'm gonna need to go to graduate school. And in order to go to graduate school, I'm going to need a side hustle. Okay. So I spent my time like just looking up things, right? You know, I was looking up my other options and then I would always, every single time I would get to the point where I was like, none of these options are feasible for me. So it would be like, I was looking for internships or jobs and it was like, you need to have this many years of experience, and I was still a student. So like, you know, and then I was looking, the jobs that I did have, they were work study. So as soon as I graduated, I would have to quit and reapply. But most of the work study jobs work study jobs are reserved for work study students. So it's like once you graduate, you can't have a job, and all the other jobs in the office are people who have their masters, okay? And yeah, so there's like no proposition of like moving up, okay? And then the other job that I did have, because that's what I said, I was looking into my options. The other job that I did have downtown that I got a real job, it was sort of a startup. So the guy, first of all, everyone else in the office had a master's, so I would have to like every job out there that wasn't like fast food or or service, you know, the service industry, you needed a master's to do. Okay. My parents only promised to pay for my undergraduate education. Okay. Because my mom had a PhD, and so she has experience with the education system, and she decided that she would only pay for her children to get a bachelor's. Other than that, we had to earn it by getting a scholarship or some other program, because she believed if we didn't get a scholarship or if we didn't enter a grad student program, then grad school wasn't for us. It wasn't what we wanted to do. Okay. So yeah. So mind you, I'm at the point, like, I'm still frustrated. I'm still not believing this shit. I'm like, no, there has to be some options. Like, I have to be able to like get the experience that I need to land the internships that I want, because my grades were not looking the way they should look to get the internships that were like in my field, right? Like you need to like, I don't know if y'all know this, and I know y'all if you didn't go to school, you're not gonna understand this, but most places it was like engineers are required, if non-engineers, the minimum GPA requirement was 3.5, they would make an exception for engineers where you could have a 3.0. And yeah, so engineering is really hard. So like they always expected engineers to have a lower GPA than any other major. My GPA was extra low. Not extra low, but I literally would always get just to the cusp of the minimum required GPA, which I thought was solely due to nepotism, because they would be asking questions and expecting me to respond as if I lived in Martha's Vineyard, and they would take points for me responding and not making the professor think about Martha's Vineyard, which honestly I understood. And that's when I decided, I said respectfully, ho, you need to be fucking thinking about Martha's Vineyard, okay? And that's when I started skipping class. Every time at the point I said, bitch, I'm black. When you see a black person, ain't no way in hell you gonna look at me and think Martha's Vineyard. And if you do, you gonna get real confused. And then I'm going to have to unconfuse you, and you're gonna say that's an attitude, because I'm unconfusing a senior. So I know y'all mad as hell because I'm petty as shit. But nah, once I figured it out, I said, why the fuck am I go to class? Bitch, is it Martha's Vineyard? Okay, then the fuck no. So then I started looking into other things, because I was like, what am I going to do if I'm not going to go to class? Obviously, like, there's no point in studying because of nepotism, okay? And so I like had to find something to do. And so I was looking, I was like, no, this was actually me trying to consider the fact that I may actually be wrong for my actions. So I was looking, I was like, no, I have to be missing something. So I looked for another opportunity, and like the only possible opportunity for somebody in my position, I pursued, okay? And it wasn't the only one, but this is what I started vlogging, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to see if other students felt similar to me, okay? I don't think there was another black engineering BME major. The only other black BME major was Nigerian, and she was pre-med, so she was already going to grad school. Okay, so yeah. So that's when I looked into this network, so I started looking into different fields, and this was like a marketing, networking kind of thing. One of those things where it's like, if you did the work, you would get promoted, right? But again, goes into nepotism. How many people am I going to know in New York City if I didn't grow up in New York City? Okay? So I'm at this event, right? Knowing that this event is tailored towards non-students because it's scheduled during the time where college students get to class. I'm going through the process, listening to these people throw shade at college students, and then my ass is gonna go, actually, I'm still a student. And they'd be like, are you part-time? And my ass is gonna say, kinda, bruh. I was like, no, I said, it's a possibility that I'm looking into right now. I said something smart like that, because I was pissed. Like, I was like, yo, like, literally, I was so mad at that fact. And I know y'all be like, what the fuck is she talking about? And the girls that get it. The girls that don't. It's like, if you didn't write neatly, if it's legible, you can still read what the fuck I wrote. But if you didn't write neatly, they would take points off. And when I say neatly, I mean like, if they said A plus B equals 4 and you wrote B plus A equals 4, they'd be like, no, I asked you to tell me the solution and you showed your work, and in your work you got crossed up, so I'm going to take points off for you getting crossed up, even though the points are based on your solution. I get it now. Cool. Okay. So, yeah. So like that wasn't me. I couldn't do that. I couldn't make them think about Martha's Vineyard all the time. So, yeah, so then I was like, I chugged up the deuces because I was like, my school's public school system taught me to do it this way, and my private school was like very open ended. Like they taught us how to figure it out on yourself, solve it by yourself. Okay. So I didn't know. It took me a while to notice that they were taking points off for me solving the solution in a way that I would solve it rather than just reproducing what the book would tell you. Okay. And I get it now because I should have been studying more, but I was taking 6 classes and I was over. It was like a combination of things. Like everything came piling into one thing. It was like I was taking 6 classes because I had to catch up to get to yeah, everyone knows that feeling. But yeah, so I go to this job interview and I'm seriously considering becoming a part-time student so that I can, start getting into the work industry early so that I can contribute to this sort of nepotism like system. Okay, the system that's based on nepotism, right? Literally, like every other sentence, they're shading college students. Like if they had if they had the option, they would tatted "I don't like you" on their forehead just for me. Okay. Still, I follow up and I go to the interview the next day. So this is what I'm ranting about. And then I'm ranting about just how extra it was. Like they didn't even have to do all that. Like I'm talking about how I get on the interview, and honestly, what happened was me having to pay for my own ticket to do the interview pissed me off. Not on a like respect level, because respectfully, like, yeah, you got to make your own way in this world, but on a moral level, because I'm like, it's an interview, okay? If you didn't, it's an interview. You're the business in need right now. Hypothetically, if the system was as it said it was, I would be the commodity that you're asking for. Why am I paying to be asked for? Okay? And so I was like, I honestly got mad at that. So then they took me on the train, and I guess, and I noticed this, I peeped this. They obviously decide what location to put you in, right? Because it's like a marketing thing. Like you have to I think you have to sell phones or something like that. But yeah, so then I think the lady saw me get mad. So what happened was she was like, okay, you know where we're going to work today? And she like picked the place on the opposite side of the city. Mind you, I'm already positively 100% skipping class in everybody's mind. Like it's clear to everybody that I'm skipping class. But like the fuck I just said, I'm considering becoming a part-time student as far as they were concerned. So yeah, but in the story, I don't tell you what's going on. I'm just talking about how I'm basically saying like the interview is taking me off base. Like if they had a schedule where they said where we were going, that's not what it said on the schedule. Okay. But really on the schedule, it's always in the fine print. Things are liable to change. But that's what I was just laughing at, because I'm like about to post this story. It's like almost 10 years later, but still, just in case I won't get the lady fired, like the lady was still within the fine print of the job. But it's the principle. Shit. It's an interview.
So tell me how in less than 24 hours my life went from completely on track to being in the motherfucking ditch, bitch. I'm way off the track. Like, bruh. The track. Like, so, of course, on track for me means, pulling myself up from the shambles. But, that's what I was doing. I had midterms to study for. I was ready. So, of course, I was prepared. I had my schedule set. I was filling out applications, submitting resumes. Bitch, doing what I should be doing. I was prepared. And then, even better, a bitch was feeling good. She secured an interview. She got the day off from work. This was Monday. I was feeling great. I was scheduling calls. I was on schedule. I was studying. Shit was dandy, bitch. Dandy. Feeling great. So, the interview went great. I got scheduled for a second round interview. I went home. I was feeling good about myself. Like, maybe I do have a future. Maybe I'm not a fit. So, after all, but we'll save that rant for later. And then, minor setbacks, Had a surprise house meeting, but it's cool. It was just an hour. After all, but we'll see. Rearrange my schedule. Still on. Rearrange my schedule. Still on. Rearrange my. So now Mary or Sue, whatever her name may be, wants to call me and confirm for my interview tomorrow. And I said, yes, I'm free for between 9. So now Mary and 3. And she said, okay, great. So we'll be at the office at 9 and it's all good. I said, great, wonderful. Then I got the email at 3 and she said, it said, full day tester email. It said, please clear your schedule because from 9 to 3, we will have your attention. Please. It said, but it's okay. I am Oga Finessa. I can finesse. So I said, it's okay. It's all good. I'll skip my classes tomorrow. The professors are used to it. But it's okay. This anyway, I don't know how they get paid. So I planned it. I planned accordingly. I set all my things in place. New schedule, new grind. I was ready. This anyway, I don't know how they get paid. So now, Positive Lola is back. I'm on my white girl flow. I arrive on time with my Starbucks ready to go. I arrived 8:55 on the dot. Now, of course, I had to wait, 45 minutes, but it was cool. I did homework on that time, grinding. Finally, I called meet my interviewer for dot. Now, of course, I had to wait for today. And, she says we're going to go grab coffee. So I'm excited. I'm ready for today. And, so then, as we're walking to get coffee, we hit a subway station. And we walk in. And we swipe in. I use my money, mind you. And then, so then, as we hop on the E train, which, goes to the east side, which is nowhere near where the fuck I should be for the day. We hop on the E train. So I'm just like, okay, keep calm, breathe. We can't be going that far. So we're on the E train, talking, conversing. Still going. Then, we get off and so I'm just like, okay, keep calm, breathe. Cool, it's chill. And then now we get on the 6 train. Cool, it's chill. And then now. So this far I'm way out of my territory. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing today. I don't know how I'm possibly going to be done by 3 when it's currently 11 and I'm an hour away from so the office that's 30 minutes away from my school, but it's okay. Keep calm, show face. I'm being interviewed. I keep pushing. The office that's 30 minutes away. So, during the interview, I'm expecting to, be able to participate in, things related to the company. But no, this bitch had me standing out in the cold all motherfucking day, just writing paragraphs and writing response questions. I said, bitch, digital, bitch, email, bitch, Google. Cold all motherfucking day. So as my irritation is building in my soul. The wind is blowing harder, it's getting colder. But it's okay. Even now, I'm still. So as my irritation is building and smiling, I'm still optimistic. So then finally, I get to take a lunch break. And I'm in Subway. And then she even gives me time to myself. But then, smiling, as I sit in this Subway alone, collecting myself, collecting my thoughts, becoming the poised Lola that I know I am deep inside. Tell me why this fool, as I comes in, yelling at one of the employees. And not just normal yelling. This nigga is about to shoot up the place. Like this nigga is throwing out threats. Comes in, yelling at one of us, insults, curses. Everyone is looking, shit, and shooking. Insults, curses. Everyone is looking, shit, and shooking. Insults, curses. When I was finished, I already my sleep, my academic career, but now I'm literally risking my life for these foolish people. Wow, these foolish people. Moral of the story is I need to get my shit together and actually be successful so I don't have to go through interview processes like these.